What's up, guys? Eastsides here, back with another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be making a guitar, or more specifically, guitar body. So I started off with a general design for guitar, and then I found a large sheet of paper, and I'm drawing lines to help me make the template larger and enlarge it accurately. So just drawing a grid. This is very helpful instead of like printing several pieces of paper out and sticking them together. Just drawing something like a grid. And I'm going along the different points, marking it out before going over it and cutting it out. Now, I don't follow this template exactly from my actual guitar, but it is a template, and I did use the general shape of it. So I found I got these two blocks of pine, sanded both ends down, and put some wood glue in them. And I had these straps, which are a hassle to use, but they did clamp it down a good job, fair amount. When I stopped filming, I ended up putting more weights on top, which would, if you see me now removing it, that's why. Just because it was bending a little bit, or bowing, and I just wanted to keep it flat. Removing the clamps was a big pain, because they just were not coming off and loosening. It's very aggravating. Eventually, I would manage to get both, or just the last one off those. Really being pain, just went back and forth, wiggling it off. Yeah, I had to end up using the chisel just to pry it off. I did damage the wood, but luckily it was in the corners. I would then trace the template onto my wood and making a few modifications later with making the right spike thicker. I get there's So I printed out a template for the cavities in the hole, for the pickups, trem bar, and tone knobs, and volume knob too, and just marking out which areas I need to cut out and kind of generally placing where the different guitar parts were going to be. I tried a different strategy of using a drill to carve this out, then coming back with a hand chisel. And this worked pretty well, except it was very hard to get sanding into it, so I didn't worry about it, because it wasn't going to be shown on the actual guitar anyway. But for the neck, I did more worry about sanding that down. I also put some wood filler in different places on the cracks where I used wood glue to join it. And then I thought I was done with making the holes, and I forgot about the whole assembly with the tremolo bar and the springs and the bridge. So I drilled those out. I tried a different strategy of using a slightly smaller drill bit and then coming in with a very smaller drill bit, but I was only able to remove slightly more than the other one, so it didn't really make much of a difference. And strategy I find helping is just outlining it with the chisel and just striking it so wood doesn't chip outside of it. And this one was pretty cool because I could just hammer it all the way through, and it's a lot less work than having to only go half an inch deep like the rest, or an inch deep like the other ones. I made a big crack, so I was waiting for that to dry. I just decided to start sanding the guitar, and after it dried, I continued to sand it and just carve out the bottom of the tremolo bar's hole. The next step was on to spray painting it, so I just laid down a base coat of green spray paint before applying a second coat of the green spray paint. But after both those coats, I realized it was far too uneven, so I found an even finer sandpaper than what I was using, which definitely helps smoothen out a lot more. And I also decided to actually use a primer first off, just because you can kind of see the wood grain there. And I used some primer, let it dry, come back and sand it, let it dry some more, and then I repeated that. Eventually, I came back with the green spray paint again, but it looked much better because you couldn't see the wood grain of it. And then I started applying clear coats, but I just didn't want to film that because it would have been the same thing a few times because can't notice any difference with clear coats. Thank you guys for watching, and Eastsides out.